Hello everyone, welcome back. So today I'm going to talk about the visa process for the Spain visa. As many of you guys know, I'm currently studying in Spain right now. So I had to do this about a year ago. So I think it would be very beneficial for many people to see, instead of just like reading a whole bunch of articles about it. Hearing from someone that has actually been through it might be very helpful. So we're going to start right away because there's a lot of things. I'm going to talk about the application itself, what you need to take, what you need to make copies of, what else you need to do, and also I'm going to help you guys with translations and just everything you need to know. And I'm going to put the times of the different things down below so you guys don't have to watch the whole thing because time is ticking and we got to get things done. And you can also come back to it, so I'll put that as well. Okay, so first we're going to start off with the application itself. So I have the list. I'm on also, like, I have my laptop here. I'm on the website of like the Spanish visa, and it has a list of things that you guys have to complete to get the visa. So I'm going to help you guys go through that as well. I'm going to have that link below too. So the first thing it says that you need is your visa application, and on there has a link to the actual application, which would be easier. And I also put it here so you guys can see what I'm talking about when I'm talking about it. So to start off, the boxes 1 through 9 are just basic information that you guys could fill out. It's just your birthday, your name, and basic stuff like that. So that is easy, and you guys should know, hopefully. Then for 10 and 11, just leave blank. It talks about bringing a minor, which you guys do not need to fill out or anything, especially if you're studying abroad. You do not need any of that. I also have that application on here, so I'm looking that way. That's what I'm looking at, just to make sure. Oh, and I have my handy dandy list here, on my to-do list. Let me show you. She's cute. She's cute. Yeah. Okay, so I might be looking down here and down there, but don't worry, I got it. So yeah, and then 12, just check ordinary passport because it's a passport that you own. So you just have an ordinary one, so just check that. And then let's see, 13 to 17, just fill out again. It's just basic information, your passport number, and basic stuff that I promise you will be able to fill out. Moving on, we have 18, where you're going to check no. It asks you if you're a resident in another country. So if you don't have another resident in another country, just check no. Most of you guys will check that. And then for 19, you're going to check student because that's your occupation while you're here, I mean in the US and also in Spain here. So just put student, just write student on there. For 20, you're going to put studies because it's like a student visa that you're getting. So just check studies on there. It's just like a little box, just put check. And then for 21, you're going to write down the date you're arriving to Spain. So not the date your program starts, but the date you're going to be flying there and the day you're going to be arriving, because that's when your visa should start functioning. Okay, so for box 22, we're going to check and write multiple entries on there, because once you're in Spain, you're going to want to travel to different countries like France or Portugal, and so just trust me, just do it. And if you don't plan to, you might want to while you're here, so just check that. And then for 23, write the address that you will be having in Spain. So in my situation, I didn't know my address because we stayed at a hotel for the first 10 days, and then we had the opportunity to go look for an apartment. So if you're in that case, then what you could do is write the address of your program office, and you can write that there. But if you know your host family's address, or if you already have an apartment while you're back in the US, then just write that address on there and you should be fine. Okay, for 24 and 25, you can leave that blank, and that just talks about employer information, which you will not be working because you're not allowed to work while you're over here because you have a student visa and not a job visa. So you could just leave 24 and 25 blank. And for 26, just fill out information about your program, so the name of the school you'll be attending, and also the phone number, email address, and just stuff like that, the day you start and then the day you end, the date that you end too. And then so that's 26. And then so after that, you're going to see a box that says in case of temporary stay of children, and you're not going to have children there that you will be bringing. So in that case, just leave that blank and you should be perfect with that because you're not bringing a child, so you don't need to fill that. So after that, there's like 5 boxes. You could just leave those blanks. And then after that, it's going to be a paragraph that you should read. Highly recommend read the fine print. I don't know. Yeah, you should just read it. So read that, and then at the end it just says to write the place where you're signing it, the date, and then just sign it. And that is all for the application. And also make a photocopy of the application and just take 2 just in case. That's what I did. And then so for the second thing on the list of things they need to take for the visa is to have 2 copies of the passport, a passport photo. So just the regular passport, I think it's 2 by 2. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'll put it here if I'm wrong. Probably wrong. Yeah. So, and then make sure it's a white background. Just take 2 copies just in case. And I know there's like a little square on the top of the application that says photo, but if I was you, I would just get a paper clip and put it there just in case. And they could staple it for you. They did it for me. And they only need 1 copy, but just take 2, just in case you lose one on the way there. You never know what could happen. Okay, and then for number 3, they have the passport. So make sure you have a photocopy of your passport of like the main page. And so take a photocopy of that to them. And also make sure that your passport is going to be valid while the entire time that you're in Spain. So, because if it expires over here, it's not going to be valid. So make sure that it doesn't expire while you're in Spain. And also make sure that there's 2 blank pages in your passport just so they could put your actual visa there. Moving on, we have number 4, which is your ID. So make sure you have a photocopy of that as well. And they just need to see that your residency is in the jurisdiction of the consulate that you're in. So whether if you're in LA or if you're in SAC, you just need to see that you're in the right area where you should be. So that's important. For number 5, that is for non-citizens. So you can read that up if you're a non-citizen. But for most of you guys are probably citizens of the US, so that is not important to you. So that you could just skip that step. And number 6 is your admissions letter that you should be getting from your program. They should email it to you or if not, send you it. And if they send it to you, just make a photocopy of that as well. But take the original. Just take everything to the visa process. And the thing that they want to see from that is just that you are a full-time student at the university you will be attending in Spain. And also they want to see that has the start date and then the end date of the program as well. Moving on to the money, money. So they want to see that you're able to support yourself while you're in Spain because you're going to be here for me it was 10 months, and you cannot work here because you don't have a job visa. So you have to be able to show that you can support yourself throughout those 10 months. So there's 3 ways that you could do it. So the first way is just by showing them that in your bank account, your personal bank account, you have enough to support you for $1,000 a month. So for me, I was here for 10 months, so it'd be like $10,000, which I did not have. Did not have that. So there's other ways you could do it. Don't worry about that. So that's just if you got the shmoney, then that's the easiest way to do it. But then the second way to do it is your parents sign a letter stating that they could support you for $1,000 a month, which is what I did. And this letter has to be notarized. And I did mine at a bank, and it was free of cost. You just call them, make an appointment with them, and then they pretty much just are there in front of your parents and make sure that they understand what they're signing, and then they sign it, they stamp it, and that is all good. And then for the paper that your parents have to sign, I have a picture of an example here, and you could honestly use the same wording, just fill in your name and then your parents' name and have them sign it. And I would make sure that it's in Spanish and in English so you don't have to translate it later on. So it just saves you money and time. Something else that you have to do if your parents are writing the letter for you is that you have to show their last 3 bank statements of the last 3 months. And make sure you print out all the pages of it. I just print out my parents, and make sure you print out from the first one to the very last one. And make sure the first page of each month is translated. So the rest could just be in English or whatever. But make sure that the first one's translated, but they also need all the pages, not just the first page. So that is very important to take to the visa as well. And then finally, the third one for the evidence of funds is to have your university write you a letter stating that the amount of financial aid you will be receiving, or grants and loans and stuff you're getting, is enough to support you the entire time while you're abroad. Okay, so the 8th one on there, it's the medical insurance. So this should be provided to you by your program, and they will give you a letter that says like your insurance on there, like it says like what you're covered for and everything, and they should email you that letter or send it to you, whatever way your program works. So just make a photocopy of that, and this is important. this is something that you have to translate, so keep that in mind. I'll remind you guys of everything you have to translate at the end of the video, but this is something you have to translate. And make sure you make a photocopy of the original and the translated one as well, just to have in your records as well. So for number 9, we have the medical certificate, which is different than the medical insurance. This one pretty much just is a letter from your doctor saying that you were in a well-being to go to another country and be there for that long. And this one is already written out for you, super easy. If you go to the checklist that I'll link down below, you could see on there. I have an example letter of what you need to give to your doctor. So what you do is set an appointment just to get a physical with your doctor, but explain to them on the phone too what you are trying to do, like that you're trying to get it approved to go to another country and stuff like that. And so what you're going to do is give the doctor the example paper, and they're going to photocopy, and make sure you tell them to put their letterhead on the paper so they could just photocopy and then just edit it in themselves. And then they just had to put your name and sign it and stuff like that, and just to make sure that you're okay with everything. Make sure they put their stamp on there just to make it official. And very important, make sure that if they do it, to keep the Spanish version on there, because if not, you're going to have to translate it if they take off the Spanish version of it. So on the example, there's Spanish and English. So if they do that and they do both of them, then you're fine. You won't have to translate it. So that is a good tip to save money on translations, because they're kind of expensive. And then make a photocopy of this as well. Okay, so now for the longest one, yes. This is number 10, and it's the police records. And this one takes the longest, so I would recommend you starting this right away as soon as you can. So this one includes 3 things that you have to do. So the first one is getting the official background check letter. So just saying that you don't have any criminal record, because Spain doesn't want criminals in their country. Pretty obvious, but yes, do that. So once you do that, you're going to have to get the letter apostilled, which pretty much just verifies that it could be used in another government outside of the US. And finally, you're going to have to get the document translated. So step 1, to do the fingerprints, which is like the official background letter saying that you're not a criminal, you know. So what you're going to have to do is get either an FBI background check or a state background check. And what I did was the state one, which I regret doing, because I would recommend you guys doing the FBI one. And the reason behind this is because if I would have done the FBI one, I would have been able to do like volunteering programs in my, like a class for volunteering with kids, which the one that I got, the state one, didn't approve me for. So I tried to do it here, but it was just too complicated, so I couldn't do it. So just do the state one, I would say, just to be safe. And I think that's what I'm going to start recommending, at least for my program. They're going to start recommending it as well. Okay, so for this FBI one, so what you have to do, I don't know too much about this because I didn't go through it, but I'll tell you the basic things that I read up online what you have to do. So you have to get fingerprinted through an approved chancellor. Chancellor? I don't know. So that. And then you have to get an apostille from Washington, D.C. So you have to send your letter and get it apostilled at Washington, D.C. And there is that I know for that. But the one I know of, the one I could tell you my personal experience of, was doing the state background check. And this one I could tell you from California, where I'm from, because I don't know, I know they vary depending on what state you're from. So I can help you with the California one if you're from California. But if not, I'm pretty sure it's super easy to find information on how to do like the background check in your state. Okay, so for the California one, the state background check, you have to fill out a request for a live scan service. So this you can find online. I will link it down below, so you guys could just get it easily if you're from California, and then just fill it out. And you could take that to the place where you're going to get your fingerprints done. You could get your fingerprints done at a police station for super cheap. You could get it done at UPS. You could get it done at just any service place that provides it. If you look it up online, you'll find where they could get it approved. I did it at just a random place where they did it. It wasn't, I mean, I think it was like $60 to get it done, so it's kind of on the pricier side, but I know police stations might be cheaper as well. Okay, so once they sent out your live scan, which is like your fingerprints, to the government so they could get your information, they're going to send you a letter a few weeks later telling you that you're not criminal, hopefully. You know, you do you, but hopefully they'll send you a a letter saying that you're not a criminal, and it's gonna be like a typewriter form. And what you're gonna do is email this email address, and I'll put it here somewhere. And you have to tell them that you need another letter with an official seal and signature, and give them your address, and they'll send it back to you. And what I just told them was that I needed it for my visa, and they sent it to me right away. So you're gonna have to send them that again. So you see how this is long, you're gonna have to wait for that one, then email them, and then yes, so get the typewriter one, email them that you need an official one, and then they'll send you an official one, and that is the one that you have to take to the apostille. Official letter with the seal and the signature. You're gonna have to either mail it to SAC to get it apostilled, which is not what I did because I am in the Southern California area. So what I did was I walked into the office. You don't need an appointment, so you're fine. So just walk into the office in LA. It's the office of the Secretary of State office. So you walk into the office, and then it costs $26 to get your apostille. And make sure it's either in a check, money order, or they take credit cards as well. And then bring all the documents, like I brought the typewritten one, I brought the official one, and stuff like that. And then your ID, just to prove stuff, you know. So bring those documents, and then take a pen with you, because I remember I was struggling with that. We didn't take a pen, and it was a struggle because I had to ask someone else. But you're gonna get there, fill out a form, and then they'll call you up. They'll do everything for you there. They'll apostille it, you pay them, and then you're good. You'll be out in like 30 minutes. And enjoy the day in LA, because LA is beautiful, you know. Okay, so now for the translating part. This doesn't go for everything else. I've told you guys need to translate, and I'll tell you guys at the end again what you need to translate, just as a reminder. So the thing that you guys have to know is that I tried to look for the cheapest way to do it, and I did it through a group called Spanish Group Translations, and they were great service, everything was great. But when I went to my visa appointment, they didn't accept them, which sucks because I had already paid some money for it. So I had to go back and then redo the translations again through an official translator. Oh, it's a sworn translator that you guys had to get them done. And if you look on the visa website, there's like a list of them, and there's a lot of them, especially all in the US. There's a lot of them, but I'll put the email of the one I used down below, so you could use her. I believe it's a girl. You can use her, and it costs around 150, I think. Yeah, I paid 150 for everything I had to translate. I think it was like 4 papers, something like that. So she did that for me. And make sure that it is a sworn translator, because or else they will not accept it. So yes, make sure you do that. For number 11, that's just if you're under 18, which some of you shouldn't be. I mean, I don't know, maybe you are, I don't know. But if you're not under 18, then you are fine. You could just skip that. And then next we have the cost of the actual visa. The actual visa is $160. And this you have to pay it when you go to the visa. So make sure it's in money orders or a cashier's check. And I did the cashier's check at my bank. Take that to the visa and you'll be good. And then finally, we have the disclaimer form. And this disclaimer form is on the checklist. So you can just print it. You just have to sign it, date it, and then put the location on there as well. So super easy. Sign, date. It's already printed for you. Make copies of everything. Now to finish up, the things that you guys need translated are going to be the insurance, so like the medical insurance that your program will provide to you. You're also going to need the first page of the 3 prior months bank statements from your parents, if you're going to be doing that for the evidence of funds. And then also you're going to need the background check / apostille that you get approved. That's what else you're going to need translated. And other than that, that's all you need from my experience, because I have it here on my phone because I remember I wrote it down, Facebook post. So yes. And some other things to keep in mind is that your visa, you're gonna have to go pick up, at least in the LA office. They didn't even give me the option to give an envelope for them to send it to me. But so you're just gonna have to go pick it up, and it usually takes about 3 weeks to go pick it up. And once you have that, you could be happy and be content and get ready for Spain. Okay, so I hope this was helpful for everyone, and please let me know if you guys have any questions. Also, let me know if you want any other videos from specifically Granada, where I'm sitting, or just studying abroad in general. So good luck in advance, and have fun in Spain. Live it up. It is going to be an amazing experience. So have fun and enjoy your time here. Adios.